And finally, once allies at the forefront of Democratic leadership, Speaker Nancy Pelosi and former President Joe Biden now find themselves at odds. It all started when Pelosi's efforts last summer to try to convince Joe Biden to withdraw from the presidential race. Since then, the former commander-in-chief and his wife Jill Biden have distanced themselves, even refusing to check in on Pelosi after her recent hip injury. Pelosi, however, has publicly praised the former president, but the former speaker's daughter hasn't been so kind. Here's more in our final report.
Once celebrated as pillars of Democratic unity, former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and former President Joe Biden now stand on opposite sides of a widening chasm. Their decades-long friendship, marked by shared triumphs and battles, is unraveling, leaving political observers speculating whether it is broken beyond repair. The fallout became glaringly public after an alarming incident last month when the 84-year-old Pelosi broke her hip in Luxembourg, and the Bidens did not even reach out to check on her. For Pelosi's family, this silence was deafening. Pelosi's daughter, Alexandra Pelosi, compared the former First Lady to Lady Macbeth for controlling her husband's kingdom from behind the scenes, just like in the legendary Shakespeare play.
If I was Lady McBiden, I'd put on my big girl pants, play the long game, and think about my husband's legacy. There aren't that many people left in America who have something nice to say about Joe Biden, and Nancy Pelosi is one of them.
This bitterness has roots in last summer's political storm when Pelosi warned Biden that his re-election bid could doom the party. Armed with grim polling data, she reportedly urged him to step aside, and Biden eventually withdrew in late July, but the scars from that battle haven't healed. Jill Biden, in an interview with the Washington Post, openly questioned the friendship. "We were friends for 50 years, she lamented. I was disappointed," she added.
Forever, no matter what he said.
Pelosi, on the other hand, has remained remarkably gracious in public. After Biden's exit, she hailed him as a patriotic American and one of the most consequential presidents in history. But privately, Pelosi and her allies wonder if Biden's resentment is clouding his judgment.
The House will be in order. The chair will address the chamber. Today, a shameful assault was made on our democracy. It cannot, however, deter us from our responsibility to validate the election of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. For that reason, Congress has returned to the Capitol. We always knew that this responsibility would take us into the night and will stay as long as it takes. Our purpose will be accomplished.
And the White House's frosty treatment of Pelosi even extended to her health crisis. After her fall, Pelosi's team feared delays in securing a U.S. military plane to bring her home. Though the White House ultimately responded, the incident underscored the wall Pelosi described between her and Biden's inner circle. Some claim Pelosi played a pivotal role in Biden's ouster, but her public critiques of Biden's campaign strategy left little doubt about her concerns.
Kamala may have, I think she would have done well in that and been stronger going forward. And because the president endorsed Kamala Harris immediately, that really made it almost impossible to have a primary at that time.
The Bidens, for their part, have not forgiven what they see as betrayal.
My colleagues thought I would hurt their races. I was concerned Nancy Pelosi's words would become the focus.
Despite the animosity, Pelosi remains hopeful. "I pray so, I cry so," she said of mending their friendship, but with each passing day, the chances of reconciliation seem slimmer. For now, the question remains, will time heal their wounds, or has this once formidable alliance been shattered for good?
From breaking news to the day's biggest controversies, shedding light on the world's top headlines. Detailed analysis on the stories that matter the most to you. Catch it all on Spotlight at 6 p.m. India time and 12:30 GMT, only on Firstpost.